Okay, hello everybody. I hope you're all well. And my name is Simon Horton. I'm the founder of Negotiation Mastery. And I'm here to talk with my friend and colleague, Mike Reddington, about dishonesty in negotiations. Mike, some of the viewers may have seen our earlier video, but they may not have. So do you mind telling people what it is that you do?
Certainly. Thank you, Simon. And again, thank you for having me here. Really enjoying the conversations. I am an executive resource and certified forensic interviewer. So as a certified forensic interviewer, my job with my former teammates was to travel the world and teach the proper execution of non-confrontational interview and interrogation techniques. People might be surprised how easy it is, or how much easier, I should say, how much easier it is to get the truth when you're actually nice to people.
Yeah.
And now as an executive resource, I teach CEOs, sales teams, HR teams, how to use the truth to their advantage by applying the disciplined listening method in order to increase commitments to action and reduce missed opportunities well, we'll just leave it there for now. I know we're short for time, so we'll leave it there.
Cool. Excellent. Thanks, Mike. So yes, so Mike and I are doing this series of videos. The first we've already done, which is on preparing to protect ourselves against dishonesty. In this session, we're going to look at evaluating the communication for dishonesty. Kind of how can we detect if there was dishonesty? So over to you, Mike. Tell me what are the main things we should be doing in terms of that?
Great question. And on the last episode, you mentioned a little bit about like when we feel like we've been lied to, it's very easy to be outraged, to get angry. It gets us off course. Yeah. So let's really start there. First of all, it's a bit of a mindset shift that in these conversations, whether it's negotiations or interviews where I come from, first, the research is very clear. The majority of the times when people lie, if you will, or withhold information, they're doing so to protect themselves, not hurt you. Right. But yet we often get offended because we take it personally that someone has disrespected us or trying to take advantage of us or whatever it may be. So the first thing we try to say is, oftentimes, if you believe someone is being dishonest with you, stop and think that they're likely doing so because they believe it's their last good option at this moment in time. Yeah. So instead of really getting angry about it, let's use it to our advantage, because the real intelligence isn't the fact that somebody lied. It's why do we think they may be lying? What might be the motivation, the fear, the interest that's driving that potential statement of dishonesty? So to use that to get back to the question you asked, the first big thing is, I'm sure many of your listeners have likely read that people say or do different things when they're lying. There are so many variables and so many things to look at that instead of trying to read verbal or nonverbal communication, keep it simple. Look for signs of comfort or discomfort. Literally, just look for changes in their comfort level.
So you're saying, sorry, not the classic hand over the mouth or anything like that. It's just general discomfort signs.
Certainly, because somebody can look uncomfortable lying. Somebody can also look uncomfortable telling the truth based on the situation and who they are. So it's very easy for us to mislabel the same behaviors.
Yes.
So instead, if during the conversation at the beginning, and this is stressed in different places, but try to establish their behavioral norm. Like just
a baseline.
Perfect. What kind of looks normal and natural for them in this conversation? Yeah. Now, as the conversation goes on, look for changes in their comfort level. And when you see it, literally just ask yourself, why did their behavior just change? What was the trigger? What was just happening at that moment in time? Why did their behavior change? And what are they likely comfortable or uncomfortable with at the moment? Then we can adapt our communication as necessary.
So I think this is a fantastic thing to do, because this is really applicable to many other things above and beyond detecting dishonesty. It's if I notice they suddenly, they sat up in their chair or something like that, or they suddenly lost some energy or whatever. This is all I can ask, why have they done that? Why have they changed from their baseline? And I might think, it's because they suddenly got energized about that topic. Right, that's really interesting. Or they're not interested in that topic. Okay, how can I use that information? So brilliant. And I think people need to be doing this a lot more. So how would you then go towards, I think it's lying, as opposed to, I think they're energized or they're disenergized?
Generally, and this might not be a popular answer with a lot of people, I would really coach to avoid jumping to the lying conclusion.
Yep.
You may be right, you may be wrong. We can get into the science and statistics behind that, but right or wrong, how's it going to make us feel? And what are we going to do next? If we're in a negotiation where we literally can get up and walk away, if somebody makes us upset, they lie to us, we can get up and walk away, then okay, you think you got them caught them lying, get up and walk away.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's not the world we live in.
Yeah.
So in that situation, again, what we really try to do is, instead of coach to catch people lying, what we coach to do is try to understand what people are thinking and feeling at any moment in time. And that really involves observing the totality of the communication. So matching their words with their tone of voice, the length of their pause. If they're fidgeting, there's lots of reason to fidget. I can't sit still to save my life. I fidget all the time. Did they just sit down and start fidgeting? That might be normal for them. As soon as we start, the easy example is, as soon as we start talking about price, now do they look down, start fidgeting really quick, look over at their colleague who checks with them real quick, and now they lean back. Okay, like that doesn't mean they won't pay the price, but this could just mean, okay, this is the part of the conversation we were worried about, so here we are. And it's that real contextual awareness that makes the difference, as opposed to catching people lying.
Yeah, okay, so it's almost that the lying is the symptom, and then if we can then work out what's behind that, and then we can work with that better. Well, why might they have done that behavior, kind of thing? Then we can work with that better to, rather than instantly sort of, they're lying to me, I hate them, I'm out of here. Oh, I can't get out of here. And now you're in a difficult situation. Yeah.
What I'm about to say is going to sound a little bit cold, and I don't mean it that way. I was recently doing a session with a group very similar to the group that you and I met with. And on break, one of the attendees came up to me and talked about being really angry with a supplier who he knows is lying to him. Right. And so we started talking about it. And the bottom line is, this guy needs him to continue to supply him, at least for now, until he can find another one. So what we talked about there, and here's the part that I don't mean to be cold, at that point, if we just think about the person who's been lying to you as an asset. If I was thinking about them as a person and a colleague, and they lied to me and that made me mad, okay, well, they're still valuable as a human being. Let's still empathize and not disrespect them. But now, for my own mental sanity, if I switch my thought and instead of think, okay, well, now what do I do because they lied to me? Well, if we still need to be in business together, it's now, how do I manage this relationship in order to get what I need, while I come up with the alternative, in his case, to change suppliers? Because being angry about it isn't going to help anybody or anything.
No, exactly. It's the anger is just going to make them lie more and dig in deeper. Whereas if you want a better result, because if they're still going to be your supplier, you still want them to supply as well as they can. And so being angry is, as you say, it's just going to make that less likely to be the outcome. So,
for sure. And literally, more often than not, we can't speak in always or never. More often than not, the worst thing to do is call somebody out online.
Right. Okay.
As soon as you say to somebody, you lied to me, they're almost certainly going to say, no, I didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which then doubles down on the lie and only makes them fight against it harder and jeopardizes the relationship. So it really is all about keeping the eye on the prize. What's the goal that we want to attain? And how does this potential dishonesty create a new path or a new opening or a new alternative for me to achieve this opportunity by doing what you said and addressing what's behind it?
Yeah. So what you're saying is, go back to the previous session, we do our preparation, we get as much ground truth that we can absolutely be sure are true as possible. Then, when we're in the communication, we're looking for signs of discomfort. We then ask the question, why are they, what led to that discomfort? And if we're on the lookout for dishonesty, we're checking that against our ground truth that we have done in our due diligence. And then that's how we work out whether there's a lie or not, kind of thing, or dishonesty.
Love it. And don't forget to verify after the conversation.
And verify afterwards. Exactly. Fantastic. Thanks very much, Mike. Great. So in our next session, we're going to look at how we manage our reaction to it once we've identified that a potential dishonesty has been made. Brilliant. Thanks very much, Mike. Thanks very much, everybody. Good luck with putting it all into practice.
Thank you. Stay safe.